But the point is, do you want to be, one way is to project into your future, when you are 80 years old or 85 years old, when you will look back at your life, would you like to say to yourself, I wish I had tried that, I wish I had done that? Or would you rather just do it and see what the hell it is anyway? After weighing the pros and cons, making major decisions can sometimes be a challenge. Should we believe in our intuition, or is there another way? Sometimes when you have to make a decision in life, when you are on the crossroads, should you choose this or should you choose that? How do you do it? Should I listen to my heart or should I listen to my mind? Excuse me. Should I listen to my mind, assuming it works? Which apparently there is no guarantee for anybody. I think what's really important is how true you are to the choices or to the choice you are about to make. That's far more important than what the actual decision may be. I read this thing once. A man got really drunk once. Partying all night, he was really drunk and he was scared to go home because he knew his wife would be waiting at home. But somehow he, stumbling and things and dropping, he somehow managed to drag himself to his home. In the morning, however, when he got up, he was shocked to see the dining table, the breakfast table, laid out like a feast. There were the pancakes, the hash brown, and fresh juice, and freshly brewed coffee, and freshly cut fruit, and there is the banana and butter and what have you. And he's absolutely shocked. He's thinking something's not right. This is the feast before the sacrifice, maybe, And he called his son. He said, is your mama right? What's going on? I came home really late last night, and here she's really laid out this table. I'm quite nervous right now. And my son said, oh no, Dad, you know what? Last night you were actually covered in your own vomit. It was a terrible scene. You were puking all over the place. And she tried to, take your shirt off, and you let her. When she was trying to take your pants off, you kept saying, no, lady, no, please let go. I'm a married man. And that made her really happy. She said, my husband's a loyal guy. He deserves the best food I can make. I think the path to your self-discovery and truth is not too different. The question is, how loyal are you to the choice you're about to make? And I will give you 2 golden rules. But remember, I am a writer, so I won't give it to you right away, okay? I will build the scene a little and give it to you in the end. Give them to you in the end, okay? But this gentleman, his question is, should you use your instincts? Should you listen to your heart, your instincts, or is there a more methodical way to making a decision? And that reminds me of the beautiful incident from the life of Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, world's most valuable company if you look into market capitalization. He said when he decided to quit his job many years ago in New York, he was working for an investment firm. He decided to quit his job and start selling books online. And his parents were his first investors, one of his first investors, and he told his parents, there's a 70% chance you will never see this money again. Yet, they still went ahead and invested in his company. So his boss and Jeff went out for a long walk in the Central Park in New York. After the walk, when his boss really paid attention to what Jeff had to say, he said, listen, you know what, and I quote, you know what, Jeff, I think this is a good idea, but it would be a better idea for somebody who didn't already have a good job. Good, you want to start a business? Good, but I think if you didn't already have a good job, he said, then it would have made sense. And and he told him, think about it for a couple of days, but this is what Jeff Bezos said much later in his life. He said, it was a decision I made with my heart and not my head. When I'm 80 and reflecting back, I want to have minimized the number of regrets that I have in my life. And most of our regrets are acts of omission. The things we didn't try, the paths untraveled. Those are the things that haunt us. And I decided that if I didn't at least give it my best shot, I was going to regret not trying to participate in this thing called the internet that I thought was going to be a big deal. And that is very important in making any decision. And these golden rules that I said I will give you, wait a little more, okay? I will give you. But the point is, do you want to be, one way is to project into your future, When you are 80 years old or 85 years old, when you will look back at your life, would you like to say to yourself, I wish I had tried that, I wish I had done that? Or would you rather just do it and see what the hell it is anyway? And when you have to make a decision in life and you have to choose a path, you've got to keep that in mind. That if I don't do what I want to do, what will my life be? Many years ago, a friend of mine, one of his sons wasn't doing too well in school. And he wasn't studying too well. And they really tried everything. Nothing worked. One day, I said to his son, I said, look, hop in my car, okay? I will drive you. And this was in India. So he got in my car. I drove him around. And I took him to the slums. And I stopped my car. I said, you see those people standing in line for water? You see these people who are very soiled. These people who don't have a roof over their head. Or all the other ones. Do you know why they live here and not like you in a home with a roof over your head? Clearly, he was a smart boy. He knew why I was dragging him around. He said, because they didn't go to school. I said, exactly. They didn't study. Now, in our country, there are a lot of very unfortunate people who want to do all those things, but they're never given the opportunity. But I didn't tell this to him at that time. I said, they didn't study. They didn't go to school. Now, if you don't do well in your school, how do you think you are going to survive? So I gave him a little lecture, not too long, not like his parents, but a little shorter one. Practical, like through the scenic beauty as I was driving him around, I gave him a rundown of the reality. The impact of that drive, that message was that this boy never, ever, ever sat in my car again. Just joking. The impact was he started taking his studies a bit more seriously. Because that's what knowledge does. That's what a change in perspective does. This person, Lewis Carroll, said it beautifully. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. Don't live a life full of regret. You will never regret taking a chance and betting on yourself. All your life you have believed in other people. If you watch cricket, somebody is playing well, you've cheered for him. If you vote, you have voted for your favorite leader or less of the two devils, whatever the case may be. All your life you have bet on other people. Do you realize that? Whereas there comes a moment in the life of those who are destined to be awakened that they bet on themselves. There comes a moment when you say, I am going to go ahead and take a chance. And the first golden rule in helping you make any decision is to ask yourself this fundamental question. That is, what's the worst that can happen? If I do what I'm about to do, what's the worst that can happen? And if I don't do what I want to do, what's the worst that can happen? If you really examine the answer deeply or reflect upon this question long enough, you will discover it's not actually that hard to arrive at a conclusion. When you will say, what's the worst that can happen if I go ahead and do this? That leads me to the second golden rule. And that is also another question you've got to ask yourself. Can I then live with the consequences either way? Whether you do something or don't do something, or if you choose to do something, it will have consequences. Whatever you choose to do, remember it will have consequences. Positive, negative, otherwise, anishtam, ishtam, mishram cha. Excuse me. So, it will have consequences. If you are willing to live with those consequences, go ahead. If the answer to what's the worst that can happen is well within the realm of your intellectual digestion, go ahead. If you're scared, sit back and let life roll. It's very easy. What you've got to do, you've got to do. If you don't do it now, nobody knows if tomorrow you will have the chance. Because life can offer you everything except one. Life can even offer you opportunities, choices, multiple times. Life can have you sit with the finest people, with the greatest brains. But one thing life does not give is a guarantee about anything at all. No guarantee tomorrow you'll be healthy. No guarantee tomorrow you'll be alive. No guarantee tomorrow you'll be able to eat. No guarantee tomorrow will be the same as today. Forget tomorrow. No guarantee that the next moment is going to unfold the way you expect it to. So what's the worst that can happen? And can I live with the consequences are two things you have to ask yourself to arrive at a decision. Rudyard Kipling, his poem I quoted on my blog a while back. I'd like to read it quickly, and not so quickly actually. Why should I read it quickly? I've made a decision. I'm going to read it slowly. And it's a beautiful poem called If. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If You can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating. And yet, don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings, my favorite line, in fact, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose, and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you will be a man, my son. I thought this really, in fact, this is what Bhagavad Gita says. And I'm sure Rudyard Kipling, with his Jungle Book and other influence, the time he spent in India, perhaps somehow it's so, maybe two wise people can arrive at the same conclusion though. But when you have to do something in life, take the plunge. Do it. Just do it. What's the big deal? If you're not risking somebody's life or your own, do it. If you fail, you would walk away with some impressive learning. Unless you're a narcissistic person, in which case you'll end up just blaming others for your failure. There'll be no learning. A big drama is going on the world stage about that, If you succeed, you would never be the same again. If you succeed, you will help 1 million more people. Either way, you will change for the better. You will change for good. If you see what I mean. Therefore, I say life must be lived fully, with a sense of adventure, with a sense of awe, not awfulness, right? With a sense of wonder, with some guts to do something new, to try something new, with some challenge, with some ability to really take a flight and experience the world like never before.